You have 9 o'clock.
Okay, I'm going to go live with the stream. Okay, we are live and good to go.
Thank you, Craig. The meeting of the Technology Advisory Group is called to order. Craig, will you take a roll call, please?
Thank you, Chairman and members of the committee. Matthew Ave, Tom Bacon,
Present.
Mike Chickaron, Kim Clark, Joseph Curtis, Travis Cutright, Chris Dahlmullen, Justin Fair. I know Brad Hardig, but I think Robert Fisher for Brad Hardig.
Present.
Steve Holliday,
Here.
Jim Keane, Tracy Mills. I think we have Tammy Hollowell for Tracy. Phil Osland, Greg Platax.
Good morning. Yep, Greg Plata, City of Buckeye.
Morning, Greg. Brian Paul.
Present.
Sasim Faridazadi. Andy Sandoval.
Present.
Jeff Sheets. Mark Wittenberg.
Present.
And Ed Winfield.
Here.
And Mike Chickaron, are you on the line still?
Yes.
Okay. And we do have a quorum.
Are there any other members participating who have not been called? Okay, please remember to mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Number 2, call to the audience. Members of the public were asked to submit written comments related to this meeting on the MAG website within 1 hour of the posted start time for the meeting. They will also be able to send comments during the meeting using the chat function. Craig, have we received any public comments?
No, we have not.
Thank you. Moving on. Approval of the March 18th, 2021 meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to recommend approval of the March 18th, 2021 meeting minutes?
Motion to approve from Mark.
And a second?
I'll second Tom Bacon.
Thank you. Craig, could you take a roll call, please?
Matthew Ave. Tom Bacon.
Approve.
Mike Chickaron. Kim Clark. Joe Curtis. Travis Cutright.
Present.
Chris Dahlmullen. Justin Fair. Robert Fisher. Steve
Approve.
Holliday. Steve Holliday.
Aye. Aye.
Jim Keane. Tracy Mills. Phil Osland. Greg Platax.
Present.
Brian Paul.
Aye.
Sasim Faridazadi.
Present.
Andy Sandoval.
Aye.
Jeff Sheets. Mark Wittenberg.
Aye.
And Ed Winfield.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4, Transportation Reporting Information Portal System. Amy St. Peter of MAG will provide an update on the Transportation Reporting Information Portal System, a joint project with Age Friendly Arizona, Amazon Web Services, and Arizona State University through the Cloud Innovation Center. Amy?
Thank you so much, Chair and members of the committee. We're very excited to be able to share this work with you today. This work is developing in order to support human services transportation providers. And by working together with different partners and really being creative about different opportunities that we might have through that collaboration, we're really able to improve the data that will be available to human services transportation providers and those serving them as well. So today I'll be joined in my presentation by Dita Castilla with MAC. She's our human services transportation planner, as well as Jublin and Nilo from the Amazon and ASU Cloud Innovation Center. If you can pull up my presentation, please, Craig, we'll go ahead and get started. All of this work is moving forward under Age Friendly Arizona. So Age Friendly Arizona had started about 10 years ago as a way to better connect older adults with people of all ages in their communities. Craig, do you need me to share my screen? Please just let me know and I can do that as well. So through Age Friendly Arizona, we've been working with a number of communities throughout the entire state to really identify ways that older adults can be more meaningfully connected to people of all ages, and they have an opportunity to really give back to their communities. most often, and it doesn't matter if communities are in rural areas or suburban areas, but transportation really is the biggest barrier as well as the biggest opportunity to establish those connections. Next slide, please. So throughout my presentation today, we'll be talking about age-friendly Arizona, showing you a little bit about one of the ways that we're using technology to increase access to transportation through azrideinfo.com, but really spending the majority of our comments today and our time today focusing on trips. This is a new development. We're very excited about this, and we're really utilizing technology in some innovative ways to help connect people in better ways, more efficiently with their communities. Next slide, please. So first, a bit then about age-friendly Arizona. Like I said, we started this 10 years ago. Since then, we've changed our target audience, our focus, even our name. But the goal has always been the same: to better connect older adults with people of all ages in their communities. So right now, we're working with about a dozen communities through the Rural Transportation Incubator. This is a specialized effort that's underway thanks to funding from the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation, as well as a number of partners here within Arizona, as well as nationally. And through this, through the Rural Transportation Incubator, we've been very focused on 3 different main activities, and that is to use technology to increase the access that people have to transportation, to actually provide rides, and then to offer all of this work at the national basis for replication. In terms of rides, we have been able to provide more than 36,000 rides to older adults with low incomes living in rural communities throughout all of Arizona, including within here in Maricopa County. Next slide, please. So we're using technology in a variety of different ways. One of them is through this website that was created, and my colleague and partner, Didi Gastia and John Christensen from our staff, from our IT staff, were really instrumental in creating this website. This is the state's first ever centralized interactive database of human services transportation providers. And so this is available right now to the public. We're finding that people actually all over the country are using this website. When people are using it from outside of the state, very often it's the adult children of aging parents here in Arizona. They don't know how to get mom or dad to their next appointment. And so they're using this website to help them to coordinate their own human services transportation. This website includes listings about more than 300 different nonprofit and public sector, as well as for-profit services that are available to older adults, as well as people with disabilities throughout all of Arizona. So we're really keenly focused on how do we use technology better? How do we create better products and tools to assist people in coordinating their own transportation? And this is one of them. Next slide, please. So the Transportation Reporting Information System is under development. We're very fortunate to be selected by the Cloud Innovation Center, and Jubilee and Anila will be talking a little bit more about what exactly that is. But they've been working with us really intensively for a number of months now to create basically a data portal that funders can use, that providers can use to be able to share information, to share data. The information that will be collected through this portal will also be available to regional planning agencies, so we can assess the data and really get a better understanding of where are the gaps in our current human services transportation system, and what opportunities do we have then to cover those gaps in some really unique ways. So we particularly want to thank the City of Phoenix. They've been working very closely with us as the designated recipient for Section 5310 funding. If we go to the next slide, please. Thank you. At this point, I'd love to turn it over to Didi Castilla. She'll be talking with you a little bit about the different elements within the portal, and also wanting to thank our other partners who have helped make this possible, like Todd Morris from NACOG. He's just been working very closely with us, as have the statewide mobility managers, who are really helping us to get the word out about this to the communities that might be using it, as well as to bring us information back to help us really design this tool in the best way possible. Didi, would you like to offer a few comments, please?
Definitely. Thank you, Amy. In building the portal, we considered a few components to meet the needs of the user. As Amy noted, the focus was on the Section 5310 program, which makes funding available for capital and operating projects to support transportation services to older adults and people with disability, where public transportation may not be appropriate for their consumers. We also got the input from our Section 5310 subrecipients, who are private nonprofit organizations, who may not necessarily be transit agencies, but also provide other service programs to the targeted population. The goal was to support these agencies with the reporting requirements and also capturing data needed for planning purposes. The other stakeholders we took into consideration, and it was important to have their input, again, was the designated recipients to ensure that the information that would be captured would meet federal reporting requirements needed for the subrecipients. We also have the input of our statewide mobility managers. Every region has a mobility manager representative to support Section 5310 subrecipients in meeting federal compliance requirements. It was important to get their input on areas where they have experienced subrecipients needing more support in reporting. Other stakeholders that we took into had input on was other rural nonprofit agencies. Many nonprofit agencies rely on a variety of funding streams. The focus of TRIPS for now is on this Section 5310 reporting element, but we also wanted to get the input of other stakeholders that would possibly utilize the application for other grant reporting purposes in the future. Building upon all these components provided a framework to move forward in building the portal. Thank you.
Thanks, Dee Dee. Can we go to the next slide, please, Craig? So as we're developing this system, as Dee Dee said, we are putting this together with the needs of Section 5310, which is that federal funding source in mind. As this system is built out, though, we'll be able to accommodate additional funders and reports. The users of this system will be able to run pre-formulated reports for Section 5310. They'll also be able to run other custom reports as well as reports for other funders as this system is built out. Next slide, please. And so this is a general flow though, and what's been very, very helpful is AKIC is helping us really not just to develop the wireframes that will be used then to actually develop the portal, but they're also helping us to think through the process. How are we sharing this data right now? What is that flow of activity like? And how can we improve that activity, particularly by being able to use a system like this? Next slide, please. So that concludes the comments from Dee Dee and I. I'd like to turn it over now to Jubeline and Tanilo for their, so they can share their great work. We are very thankful to them for all of their support with this. When we asked the human services transportation providers, what is the one thing that you spend a lot of time on, but you get very little benefit from? They all said reporting. It's something that we have to do. We have to do it well. It has to be accurate, but they want to be out in the field serving people, not sitting back in the office running reports. And so with having this portal in place, the nonprofit providers will be able to produce higher quality data and reporting more quickly, enabling them to do what they do best, and that is really focus on the needs of their clients. It also gives funders a fantastic way to obtain a much higher level of data, and then they can use that for their own purposes, and then regional planning agencies as well can use this for planning and to help us to figure out what needs to be done to better meet the gaps that might be existing within the system. So Jubeline and Neela, I'd love to turn it over to you for your comments now, please.
Perfect. Thank you so much for those lovely introductions, Amy and Dee Dee. I am Jubilee Wilku. I'm the AWS Program Manager at the Cloud Innovation Center. For those that don't know us, the Cloud Innovation Center is a partnership between Arizona State University and Amazon Web Services to drive digital innovation, working with local and state organizations. One of the most recent challenges, as we call it, was with the MAG team, where we applied our working backwards process and tried to understand the customer problem, needs, and build a prototype as an end result for that particular engagement. Nilo and Sarah, who are both on the call today, are amazing interns that worked on this particular project and developed prototype and wireframes that illustrate the life cycle of the 5310 program flow. So as you will see when they present, they will go through both the application process as well as the approval flow and show how transportation providers as well as the MAG team, City of Phoenix team, and the committee members can go through and review the documentation, review the reporting process, and hopefully make their entire application flow a lot more painless in comparison to what it is today. So Nilo and Sarah, if you are on the call, please share your screen and showcase your amazing work.
All right, thank you, Jubileen, for the introduction. So this is Sarah and I's kind of manifestation of a couple months of work. You probably recognize this screen because it was shown a little bit earlier in the slideshow, but this is the main login screen for our trip system. We've added a couple more, more functionality in terms of MAG and City of Phoenix users as well as committee members, but we're going to jump in and show you guys the the login for the transportation providers. So here, basic login page, we'll show you guys how to add team members so you can expand your team and multiple people can be working on this at once. But this is what you'll see when you first log in as a transportation provider. You're going to see a lot of information that you can even edit. So if you click on this edit button, you're going to be able to add or remove different elements that you want to see on your dashboard. So it's personal to you. And there's a lot of information kind of baked in here. We'll kind of go through it. So there's going to be notifications, of course, if you look on this left side here. So this could be anything about, fleet information to 5310 grant requests, being able to submit those. Let's see. There's also, we're going to kind of go down here as well and show you guys, but I wanted to click on reports first. So there's going to be reports that are baked in here as well that you'll be able to download that are generated, as well as this admin panel for admins of the transportation provider, which can be designated at the time of creation of each individual team. And then the way you add new members is you can essentially send an invitation to them, and that would be done here. That was put in place because a couple of stakeholders were worried about spam in terms of creating new accounts, so we put that in place there. Kind of moving down the dashboard, we have messaging systems, so the transportation providers can message back and forth with MAG and City of Phoenix, send attachments, add images, pin messages, just to make it a little easier than just emails getting lost in your inbox. We kind of built in a messaging feature. Additionally, we have, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in a second, but we do have a request history in terms of 5310 requests that are in progress, have been completed, approved, denied. So just so you can see kind of visually what has been approved and denied and what is in progress, and kind of all in a neat list. Fleet control is kind of self-explanatory, but it's just your vehicle inventory and some details about each. There's a maintenance history page as well that you can go to. In terms of the, if we go back to this page and go to new request, there's a couple options here. There's going to be a new 5310 application request, and then a reimbursement request, which would be a new request as well. But then you can also view your saved or completed 5310s. One of the feedback that we got, one of the elements of feedback that we got was that people wanted to edit existing applications because that'd be quicker. A lot of the information might be the same. If it's for the same transportation provider, filling out sections 1 through 3 or 4 or 5 might be the same information. So there's a list where you can see these existing applications and be able to edit and duplicate those for faster submission. If you just click on new 5310, you just kind of jump right in there to the flow, and it asks you, you can go through all the sections, and it just kind of guides you through the process, as opposed to it being, kind of this Excel document of just, it's a little more jumbled. That is the transportation provider dashboard. I don't know if Sarah, if you had anything else you wanted to add, or jump in and say anything, or Jubileen as well.
No, I think you did an awesome job presenting this, Nilo.
Oh, great. I don't know if you can go through the actual approval process as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for the people who are watching, the transportation providers would be the individuals who go in and submit the 5310 program request. And that would then end up going to the MAG and City of Phoenix, who would go and review the document and prior to it being submitted for the committee review. So there are a lot of different approval touch points here, and we've tried to incorporate that in the website, which the link is going to be available for anybody from the MAG team, and you can go and play around with this mock-up wireframes yourself at your leisure time.
Yeah, I can kind of edit over that. If you'll notice there's a lot of pages going on. We've been working on this project for quite a while. If we were to go to I guess it could be either dashboard, I suppose. So if we were to, let's see, I think I'm on it, right? You wanted to do review reimbursement request?
Just navigate over to the homepage and then show the login for the MAG or City of Phoenix individual so that we can see their homepage and their
Okay.
dashboard.
So if we were to, similarly, you'll have that similar splash page. Hold on, got to get my zoom out of the way. MAG and City of Phoenix users would be able to click on a separate kind of link and have that separate flow. In terms of the login flow, and then you'd be able to see that you could click on different subrecipient pages and be able to access those pages. But in terms of the general look, you're going to notice that it's pretty similar, but it's going to be kind of more the tasks that are obviously kind of tied to City Phoenix or MAG. Let's see. I'm like forgetting how to get there.
It's all good. But is there any questions from the folks on the call about the application or the scope of the engagement?
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. This is Mark, City of Tempe, and probably directed at Amy, which is, what's the marketing thoughts as far as getting this out to the cities and to like our human services folks?
Right. Thanks, Mark. Great question on that. So the system hasn't been built yet. The City of Phoenix is very interested in putting this out for a competitive procurement. And with being able to have these really robust wireframes, it gives them a significant leg up. The value of all of this work is hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so being able to work with KIC on this, they really have positioned our region to be able to move forward very quickly in a much more cost-effective way. And so once this is built, then we would be reaching out to all of our member agencies to see how they might be able to participate in this, coordinating very closely with the City of Phoenix on it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Jubilee, Nilo, Sarah, is there anything else that you care to share?
No, we're good.
I'll go ahead and jump in. So to review the reimbursement request, Nilo, if you can just click on go back to the splash page.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're good. And so of course it would be within notifications and or current requests. Go ahead and click grant number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is pending approval at the top of where notifications is. And that's just a short way where you can review. This is the reimbursement request. And of course, it'll have all the characteristics and assets of what would be within a reimbursement request where you can deny and approve. And of course, essentially it has the apportionments, the local match totals. And so essentially that's how City of Phoenix, I believe, would get to the reimbursement request. It would just be within the notifications or request history. And you can view the uploaded documents and or where who submitted it, and of course the date.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you, Sarah. And another important point on this as well, just to highlight again, is that all of this is open source. So if there are communities that would like to use this information for your own city-specific purposes, then please feel free to do so. At the regional level, we'll be working with the City of Phoenix as a designated recipient for Section 5310. But if other cities are interested in participating this earlier rather than later, please do let us know. This is a regional project and we'd love to be able to work with all of you. A few important lessons learned from our work with this. One is just a value of partnership. So being able to work with Amazon and with ASU, with the mobility managers, with the other planning agencies, with the communities. There isn't any one of us who could have done this on our own. It really took all of us working together. Also, in being able to look at how we can use technology in new and different ways to help people, to make people's lives better, to make people's jobs easier, I think has been really inspiring in being able to work on this. The other component of this is that the idea of stone soup, of everyone giving their individual piece and making something better together as a whole. We wouldn't have even started the Rural Transportation Incubator without the grant from the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation, but we received $300,000 from them. But thanks to our partners and our sponsors, we're able to commit $1.7 million in match and in-kind contributions. So just really goes to demonstrate the power of partnerships and how we can use technology and a tool in some really innovative ways to be able to do this work better. So we want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank Jubilee, Sarah, and Nilo, thank Dee Dee, and thank all of our partners on this project, and to thank you for allowing us to come into your meeting and to be able to share this work. And if you would like to be involved, please do let us know. We'd be happy to work with you as well. Thank you so much. That concludes our presentation.
Thank you. Are there any questions from MAG membership?
No questions. Ed Winfield has a comment. Thank you for this project. It looks very interesting. The we're looking at our ARPA allocation here, and we've got just a ton of money going towards HSD and all of the functions and services that they're going to provide or be asked to provide. So anything like this that allows us to leverage technology, continue our march forward with digital technology in these services, I think is great. So look forward to it, and hopefully we can leverage it fully. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd really appreciate that comment. And if anyone is interested in looking at the wireframes, Craig does have that link. And I believe that's also shared on the MAG website. But if you would care for any more information on that, please do let us know. And I'd also like to just thank Jubilee and Nilo and Sarah from the KIC, the Cloud Innovation Center. I'd really encourage all of you, if you have a project that you'd like some guidance on, some support, some extra capacity, please do reach out to the KIC. They're fantastic to work with and really do bring just a tremendous layer of expertise to this work. And we are grateful to them for their partnership on this project. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, Amy, thank you very much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. This item was on the agenda for information and discussion only. Moving on, number 5, MAG Emerging Technology Program Update. Shu Yao Hong of MAG and staff from the City of Chandler will provide an overview of the MAG Emerging Technology Program and various piloting efforts. The program has deployed a variety of emerging technology pilots in the region, ranging from smart traffic control systems for reducing intersection delay and improving safety to innovative data collection and detection technology for non-motorized road users. Staff will highlight a pilot project that implements an innovative traffic management system in the City of Chandler. Shu Yao.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Technology Advisory Group. This is Shu Yao Hong from MAG. I'm managing the Emerging Technologies Program in the Transportation Technologies and Service Division at MAG. This agenda item has 2 parts. First, I will provide an overview of the Emerging Tech Program, and then I will introduce my co-presenters who will talk about one of the pilots that is currently ongoing in the City of Chandler under this program. A little bit context about the overall motivation. If you have been following policy committee meetings last month, you may have heard that according to a recent survey conducted by the new Regional Transportation Plan Development Team, preparation for future transportation technologies and innovation is ranked the top priority by likely voters in the Maricopa County. This strong support for emerging tech echoes with what we have been hearing from the elected officials that prepare for emerging tech and innovative feature need to find a space in the new RTP. The uncertainty of emerging tech obviously presents challenges to our long-range planning process. For that, MAG established the Emerging Tech Program. One of the centerpiece of the Emerging Tech Program is the Emerging Technologies Field Pilots, which aims to provide technical inputs to the development of the ongoing new RTP by tracking, piloting, and evaluating emerging technologies in real-world settings in the region. It acts as a matchmaker between emerging technologies providers and MAG member agencies who are interested in trying technologies which has regional implications and the potential of scalability. To provide support to our members, MAG will take care of the contractual work with the vendor and provides the funding for limited scale pilots. In turn, the partner member agencies work closely with us from scoping all the way to deploying and evaluation. In addition, we also established an independently funded public university task force to provide technical evaluation and assistance on those pilots. Our task force members from universities all signed conflict of interest statement before evaluating a project to ensure a fair and just evaluation. Here are just a list of pre-qualified prime and sub-consultants on the LIST program, as well as sub-consultants that are still under negotiation. The pool has a balanced mix of engineering consultants, telecom providers, and auto OEM, as well as small to mid-sized companies. Here is a high-level overview of the pilots and the vendors involved under the Emerging Tech Program to date. We currently have about 9 pilots being deployed and evaluated in red colors. And the pilots that are under scoping and negotiation, as shown in map in orange colors, as well as pilots that are still on the exploration stage as an ideas in blue colors. We receive a very good response from our member agencies and from the technologies vendors, which resulted in lots of efforts that is currently ongoing. We also strive to achieve a balanced portfolios of pilots and the technologies, from traffic management technologies to connective and automated vehicles, from software-only solutions to hardware deployments, from arterial network and freeway systems to protecting our non-motorized users. To give you a flavor of the type of pilots that is ongoing, I would like to introduce Chris Milster from No Traffic and Srini Gondala from City of Chandler. Before I turn it over to them, a bit background about this project. No Traffic pilot is one of the first few pilots we have in this program. We saw the potential of the technologies in improving traffic flow and safety, and how it's different from existing traffic management solution. It has been deployed in City of Chandler and the City of Phoenix as well. The technical evaluation is conducted by University of Arizona to understand the accuracy, optimization, effectiveness of the system. Because the evaluation is still ongoing, we were facing some delay due to the COVID last year. So today we will only be talking about the features of the systems and the city's experience about implementation to date. The vendor No Traffic has been very responsive and open about their technologies, working closely with our university task force on the ongoing evaluation. And I also want to thank City of Chandler, Srini and his team. They are the implementation agency partner in this particular pilot, providing tremendous in-kind support from the installation to the ongoing evaluation. With that, this concludes my pre-show, and I will now turn it over to Chris and Srini to share the features of these technologies and the city's experience with the implementation to date.
Thank you, Shu Yao, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Chris Milster. I'm the Customer Success Manager with No Traffic, and here to kind of give you a flavor of kind of the technology that we're providing, which is pretty next level in the traffic management space. After that, Srini is going to be talking about the city's experience from an implementation side. Shu Yao, next slide, please. The basics of the system are essentially a full autonomous traffic management solution. What we've created is a very light hardware overlay that gives full awareness of road users around an entire intersection. So what you see here is the basics of our system. From the left-hand side, the objects are detected at the human eye level using the AI sensors, which are provided at each approach of the intersection. We use a variety of sensing technologies, video and radar, to account for potential bad weather. Luckily in Arizona, 360 days are nice and sunny, but there's dust and rain and snow in parts of the country that what we would design for. That communicates to the traffic signal cabinet, and that communication gateway is through our traffic app engine, which you see on the bottom right. This provides a direct communication both to our cloud, which you see on the top right, as well as the traffic signal infrastructure. With this system, we essentially turn the traffic signal cabinet into essentially a software-driven solution. There are a lot of things we can do, and this is kind of how we've positioned ourselves as a company, is really taking the hardware to enable us to really become a more of a software-driven application. Next slide, please. So I'm going to go a little bit about each of the components. So one of the things in the traffic industry that's been challenging in the past has been providing multiple sensor technologies to do multiple different applications. Usually when a device is procured, it's usually for a singular purpose. What we've been able to do with the experience we've done from other industries and looking forward in the consumer electronics industry is that we can do a lot with packing we can do a lot by providing a lot of technologies into one sensor. So in the traffic space, knowing what's there at the stop line versus what's approaching is very important. We've been able to accomplish that with our object recognition, being able to understand what vulnerable road users are doing, especially in the Phoenix Valley is very important. Also understanding different types of modes, doing applications based on transit or freight is very important. So we've combined all these types of applications into the ability to do all these applications into one sensor design, and that's what we've done here. Next slide, please. And kind of what's new to the industry, but what's done in the consumer electronics industry is a managed process. Whenever you get an Apple update or an Android update, that's a managed process. We emulate the same thing in our detection system. So if our sensors detect an anomaly, like you see there in that picture, there's that bike behind that red car. It sends an alert to our system through the sensor to our operations center. And this data is captured and provided back to our AI algorithm. If it requires R&D, we retrain our models to understand kind of what happened and why this happened. So that way, it provides this continuous learning process for detection, which is very critical in the transportation industry. If traffic engineers aren't able to understand what's at the intersection very accurately and timely, the types of solutions they can provide, whether it be signal timing or other types of studies, is very limited. So we focused a lot on providing a very high quality sensor that provides high quality data. Next slide, please. And with that data coming in, there has to be a way to communicate both internally with our system and to other intersections and to the customer, and then our network operations center, or NOC, which is located in Phoenix. So on the bottom right, the sensors collect data, sends it to the traffic app engine, which is located in the traffic signal cabinet. This has computational power to provide simulations of the traffic signals, the traffic system, which we then provide what's called a traffic signal call to the traffic signal controller. And that call is based on our analytics, the existing data, predicted data, data from other intersections, and potentially AVL data from a transit system, or Waze data. All that data can come in and can be fed to our system to provide a more intelligent call. And then you see on the right side of your screen, all this is cloud-based. So the city can do this on their phone. They can do it when they're outside. They don't have to be have a server or have any additional hardware cost in their at the city to manage this. Next slide, please. And really, what this allows us to do is more intelligent things. So this, I know for this group, it's not super eye-catching. This is for traffic engineers. This is pretty good. It's essentially understanding that different types of applications are possible with a very high-grade sensor. So you see here in this video, this bicyclist is being detected by our system, which you see, which we denote in the blue circle. So when the circle's blue, that means we detected it. We were kind of doing some analysis about some of the other systems. So the bicyclist has to go over now to the PED button to be served. So you see it come back. So these are the types of anomalies we catch, and really really this now provides us a really high grade sensor to understand their complaints about missed calls, or if a bicyclist wants service and provide what's called an effective minimum green time. These sort of things can happen. But this is just an example of some of the output that comes from our sensors. Next slide, please. And when we talk about next generation technologies, since the system is learning and we get data from our sensors to then turn the system on and then drive actions to the traffic signal controller. In AI, there's a process called learning, where essentially, like intelligence, you have to learn a new skill. So each system learns what the traffic's doing and how to best react to basically achieve the lowest delay and travel time. What happens is we run simulations both in real time and offline to understand how the system's going. And this is a very involved and fine-grained process that's worked with the city to understand certain anomalies. Maybe there's context of a neighborhood that needs that needs more service. These are sort of things that get brought up in the deployment of the system. And at the end of the day, what it does is we're using analytics and statistics to provide the lowest overall delay in travel time that's achievable. And that's really what our system's driven on. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we've been learning as a company, and really thanking to MAG for letting us be a part of this emerging technology program, is we first as a company thought that, hey, everybody wants us to manage their traffic signals for them. However, that's really not the case. And in working with the city of Chandler, working with City of Phoenix, and working with MAG, we started to understand really more how the industry works, and really what are the critical needs of the system and municipalities. And we're really, a direct output of this is understanding that we need to retool our products to better serve the needs of our customers. So see on the left, it's kind of like our initial thought, and our lessons learned is really starting from this what's called FHWA calls, a basic service model for traffic signal management. We're really focusing on the fundamentals of good communication using the 4G system, 4G LTE, and then 5G, and then have really good detection to understand what's at the intersection. And then from there, you can do advanced things like analytics, predictive operations, connected vehicles, and other types of applications. Next slide, please. And this has led us to be more of I brought this up a few times, really led us to be more of a hardware-enabled software as a service model versus the traditional model of the traffic industry, which is a singular piece of hardware for a single solution. Where really our product design is such that we provide a lot of high grade hardware out at the traffic signal, so that it's software that can drive the solutions versus just putting another piece of hardware out, which is what we think is a more archaic process. Looking at the consumer industry, looking at consumer electronics industry, looking at other industries like the financial industry, software is really where the future is, and being able to provide the data that the software needs is what we're focused on. Next slide, please. So a little bit just kind of looking to the future. This is actually one of our features we've developed very quickly. It's a safety feature that just detects a red light runner, as you saw there with the vehicle being have a bounding box in red. Its technology's taken us to a place where we don't have to do one of three things. We don't have to have a system that just measures, have a system that just understands, or have a system that just acts. We can start to combine those two and start to reduce the timeline to provide something that analyzes what's going on, where we can gain insights and knowledge of that, and actually implement solutions to drive that action. And again, on the right is an example of some of the things we're doing in the safety arena. We know that's very critical in the Phoenix Valley, and understanding, providing solutions that not only give information about safety, but also start detecting things like right here, a pedestrian, which you can't really see with the visible eye. So those are the things that we're moving forward on as a company. Really think MAG and the city of Chandler for working with us on this to understand, to really push forward the traffic industry. Okay, next slide, please. And I'll hand it over to Srini.
Thank you, Chris, Shivayo, Mr. Chairman, and the members of the committee. My name is Srini Gaunla. I'm the signal systems engineer for City of Chandler. We wanted to present city's perspective on the very first emerging technologies pilot that came out of the MAG program. We really appreciate all the support that MAG staff gave us, and also the vendor working with us throughout the project. Little bit of background about the location itself. The corridor is Chandler Boulevard. It's close to 2 miles. And this is one of the busiest corridors within the city of Chandler, with the traffic around 42,000 daily vehicles that use this corridor. This is one of the busiest, like I was saying, and there is a heavy commercial core on the corridor itself. The corridor limits are from McClintock Drive to Dobson Road. And we have 101 interchange in the middle that kind of serves all the regional traffic. We have a Chandler Fashion Center, like in the southwest quadrant of the freeway and Chandler Boulevard. And we have some major big box retailers, Costco, Target, Walmart, and very high density apartments. Also to the west is the Intel fab facility, and to the east of this location is Dobson, the Chandler Regional Hospital on Dobson Road. So the 101 is more like a gateway to all these different employment centers and also commercial core. With that, we have our daily peak hour traffic flows that happen on the corridor, and also lunchtime traffic. In addition to that, with the Chandler Fashion Center, we have very high holiday traffic patterns that are quite different to the daily traffic patterns that happen during the regular times of day. The signal spacing is also uneven. Usually we would like to have at least quarter mile spacing for the signals for good progression through the corridor. Given the nature of the corridor land use, the signal spacing goes anywhere from close to 1,000 feet to 1,500 feet. So it poses some challenges on managing traffic flow. Our staff does a great job on keeping the corridor traffic keep moving. But we wanted to see if the adaptive system is a solution for this corridor for some of the challenges that we face, like some backups we experience on the freeway frontage road. Try to minimize any safety issues like traffic backing up onto the freeway due to heavy flows. Next slide, please. So given that the goals of the project were to see if we can improve the corridor travel times through the system, and also minimize some of the side street delays that happen at the commercial core signals. Also, like I was saying, the holiday traffic, like in late November and during December timeframe, the Chandler Boulevard sees heavy traffic influx and exits. So we wanted to see if the adaptive system is a solution for that. Next slide, please. Little bit about the project schedule. The MAG, Emerging Technologies Pilot, was a good source for us to see if we are able to optimize some of the challenges we have on the corridor. So the program started around in like October of 2019. We were able to work with MAG, and MAG was able to handle all the contractual obligations, working with the vendor and with some input from us on the scope of work. So that was really helpful to cut down the administration time for getting the approvals and process that would take some more time if city were to manage the project. So we went to installation in November 2019. We wanted to get the holiday traffic flow information for the adaptive system to learn the traffic flows and patterns before holiday. And when the system is implemented in the next holiday season, they have a good baseline of comparison, how the adaptive system implementation is working. So all the sensors were installed, all the field equipment was installed and connected to the TMC. But before we went to live, the COVID-19 impact started happening in middle of March. So we had to cut down and scale down the schedule, and we're waiting for the traffic flows to pick up back because of the lockdowns and other things. We did not see the similar amount of traffic that we would see on a regular day. As the traffic flows stabilized, but they were not quite there pre-COVID levels, but we had somewhat a stabilization on day-to-day traffic flows. We decided to go ahead and implement the adaptive system in October. We did some initial testing at 2 intersections. After we fixed some, did some tweaks, and then went to full implementation on the corridor. So we were able to install the system on 10 signals throughout the corridor. The full implementation was done in November 2020. And we worked with No Traffic to provide our feedback and what we are seeing through the driver's perspective, and make some changes to their algorithm and how the system works. The system has been active through the holiday season as well, for the last 2020 holiday season. Again, the traffic flows were not quite there pre-COVID levels, but it was able to capture the holiday traffic and able to serve the traffic flows. Next slide, please.
Hi, Srini, this is Craig with MAG. We have about a minute left on this item.
Oh.
We do have a hard 10 o'clock ending.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to be as fast as I can. So like Chris was saying, the system has sensors as part of capturing the traffic flows on the corridor. Next slide, please. This is the quick view of the sensor itself that's mounted on the luminaire to get the as best shot as we can of the traffic flows on each approach. Next slide, please. Some slides about what goes into the signal cabinet itself. We have our own controller and signal controller equipment, electric equipment. In addition to that, No Traffic has their controller box 4G equipment and communication equipment in the cabinet. Next slide, please. Just a snapshot of our central system, how we are able to see the traffic signals. The blue dots means the no traffic system is running at this time. Next slide, please. This is a browser that no traffic provides, that we are able to see the live view of the sensors on each approach. And this is an easy way for us to keep an eye on the corridor. Next slide, please. One more shot showing the demand on each approach. The circles show the demand and the phase numbers, like the movement numbers over there. If there is a demand on that, that changes to blue color. Next slide, please. The no traffic browser comes with some additional features like the traffic data. It's a good tool to look at traffic flows, historical traffic flows, how the traffic is moving forward and how many vehicles are able to get served, vehicles arriving on green when the green light is on. Next slide, please. One more slide back. One more feature that no traffic system has, it provides the system captures any unusual activity like a stalled vehicle or an accident, and they are able to send us an alert so that we can keep our eyes on that as well. Next slide, please. This kind of quickly shows the data collected by the no traffic system for the pre-COVID through current last April. And it kind of shows the traffic flows that are happening at the freeway interchange. As you can see, significant dip just when the lockdowns were implemented, and then the traffic is still kind of an uptake, but it's not there at the pre-COVID levels. Next slide, please. One more graphic showing the weekend traffic flows. The blue line showing the pre-COVID and the orange line showing the current traffic flows. So we are not there yet at the before COVID. Next slide, please. Some observations on the city side. The detection system has been working pretty good. We did not see any missed calls or false calls from the detection. They're able to detect the vehicles. The system is able to minimize the delays. We do have the coordination, the progression through the corridor. It does work pretty good for the core of the corridor, and we are working with no traffic on some other minor intersections to avoid some of the stops that might happen on Chandler Boulevard itself. The last holiday traffic was able to, the system was able to serve it pretty good. Again, the traffic was not there at the pre-COVID levels. So we are hoping, the next holiday traffic would have that kind of flows, and see how the system responds to that increase in traffic demand. Our next steps are, MAG has a contract with the University of Arizona to do an independent evaluation and quantify the results. So we are looking forward for that and see how the system has improved the traffic flows. Next slide, please. With that, we'll take any questions.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this concludes our presentation. So sorry for the delay.
Thank you. Are there any questions from membership? All right, thank you, Shu Yao. This item was on the agenda for information and discussion only. Number 6, Jobs Information Management System.
Thank you, Chair. Members of the committee, I'm going to be very brief. We talked about this as the last meeting. I'm just reminding you and soliciting information that you can send through Craig on who you would like to participate later this summer in reassessing the requirements as we move forward with City of Tempe in making enhancements and doing the conversion of this gym system. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me offline or Mark, and we can arrange a demo and also collect those names so that when we put together the requirements, we'll make sure that we're getting everybody's input. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. This item was on the agenda for information and discussion only. Number 7, agency project update. Our next item is the agency project update. Committee members can discuss current agency projects that may be of a regional interest to the committee. This item is on the agenda for information and discussion only. Do we have any project updates? Okay, none heard. Number 8, are there any requests by membership for an item on a future agenda? Okay, none heard.
Said we might make touch on the various ways everyone's getting into their ARPA funds at some point. Might be a little premature for next meeting, but certainly a couple out. People will have received their monies already. It'd be interesting just to see if there's any technology or any interesting technology things going on there. I'll be happy to comment from Maricopa County.
Thank you, Ed. Craig, can you please put that on the next agenda?
Yeah, I'll have that for the September agenda.
Thank you. The action summary. Craig, were there any summarized tasks during this meeting?
I've already emailed the committee the TRIPS link from Amy's presentation, and I'll be following up with committee members for if there's any other smart projects for the next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The next meeting of MAGTAG is scheduled for Thursday, July 15th, 2021 at 10 a.m. And I will go ahead and adjourn the MAGTAG meeting for today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good day.